Hey, welcome to A4H Financial Coaching. My name is Jordan Mitchell. I am your financial coach. And today we're going back on offense. So we are going to start looking at investing. Now, investing doesn't happen until baby step 4. So remember last week we talked about creating that buffer, right? We've created that $1,000 buffer. Then we paid off our debts. And then we get the 3 to 6 month of expenses all set aside. Saved, not invested, saved. Some are very liquid, some are very easy to get to in case we have an emergency. Then we can get started on investing. Okay, look, the reason why we invest is because you're going to get a certain amount of money from your job. Okay, and you unfortunately have a finite amount of hours that you can work before your body just shuts down and says, no, I will not work anymore. And for some people, maybe that's a lot. Maybe it's 16 hours. Maybe for some of you, it's 12. Depends on what you do and who you're with. But regardless, you have a finite number of hours you can work every week. Money works 24/7, 365. And if we get it working, then we can create more money from that money. So it's basically like you're using your paycheck to make money, not just using the money from your paycheck. Okay? And this is what happens when we're in debt. When we're in debt, we use the money from our paycheck to make other people rich. It's just how we do it, right? We're making somebody else rich by paying debts, because we're paying the interest and the penalty on it. So therefore, let's turn it around and let's make it work for us. And that's what we need to do. How much? So that's always a question that I hear. Like, how much should I be investing? 15% at a minimum. There's no way I could do 15%. There's no way I could do that right now. Well, you got to ask yourself the question, what's the most important thing? Is it spending the money now, or using that money to create more wealth for you later? It's a decision you're going to have to make. But let's say you're looking at your budget and you're like, I could maybe do 5 this month. So do 5. The point is, the earlier you get started, the better it is. Okay. I hope, especially as I'm working with the youth in their finances, that they're starting to invest the moment that they're out of college and that they have that first full-time job. Or even better, when they're still in college or even before college. And they can do that if you have your priorities straight and if you don't go into debts on things. It's not going to happen for everybody, but let's just take a look at what happens when you do start early. Okay, so let's say a person comes out of college, gets a job, and they don't have any debts from college. They don't have any other debts other than the house that they just bought. Okay, so then we're in baby step 4. And let's say they're just going to invest in a 401k from their work, and they're going to get, let's say, roughly a 10% return. Okay, now per year, that can go way high, that can go way lower, but over time, the S&P, right, the stock market has averaged 10 to 12%. So let's just say 10. All right, there's called a rule of 72. So you just take your interest rate and take 72 and you divide the two. So 72 divided by 10 is roughly 7. So it's going to take 7 years to double your money at that rate. All right, so let's think about if I'm 22 and I start investing. By the time I'm 29, I will have doubled my money. By the time I'm 36, I will have quadrupled my money. And by the time that I am 43, I will have octagoned my, I don't think that's the right word, but octagoned my money. All because I started at 22. Even if someone starts 7 years after me and they're putting the same amount every month in and we get the same return, they will have half the money that I have in my 401k at the end, when we retire. So starting early is very important. But the other key is to diversify. Okay. Yes, get your 401k going, because that's going to build up a nice, big, gigantic nest egg for you at the end. But there are other things that you can invest in. Something like precious metals, gold, silver, palladium is a new one that I saw. I'm trying to think. There was one other one that I had, platinum, right? Invest in these metals. Gold always is in high demand. Silver has plenty of uses. It's not, gold and silver aren't going to go out of style, right? It's not a fad. They've been around for thousands of years and people have used them and they're going to continue to use them. Okay. Obviously, I talked about your 401k that your workplace probably offers, But then there's some other ones that might not be on your radar. Something like real estate, becoming either renting out real estate or just buying, even land just to have that go up in price. And again, we don't want to put all the eggs in one basket. We simply want to diversify what we have. So that way, if something takes a tumble, because things do that, then the other things, there's other things to continue to support the retirement plan, whether it's long-term or short-term. Okay. A couple other things you could look at doing: buying businesses, right? You can go and buy a business. You don't have to start a business. You can go and buy a business that's already profitable. Yeah, they're not cheap. A couple, I've looked at a few of them. Yeah, and some of them are in the, $1 million to $2 million range. But there are some smaller companies that are on sale for $100,000, $200,000. Now, word of caution: don't go into debt. Don't go into debt to buy these. Okay, because every time we go into debt, it's risky, right? And yes, it might be a low risk, but just remember how today, right, with how fast things move, that every company, every product is essentially one innovation away from being obsolete. Ask Blockbuster. So as we go to diversify, we just have to say, what do I like? What do I want to be in? And then get knowledgeable on it. You can go on YouTube or go search Google, invest in this, and you can find any bits of information. Spend an evening doing that with your spouse and make a plan. Okay, now there is one that I will say a little bit about, because I was skeptical at first, but after looking at it, I'm like, this is probably not a bad idea as much as I used to think it was, but that's crypto. Okay, and I'm not saying go all crypto crazy, but if you invested, I've read a story of a guy who bought Bitcoin at 6 cents. 6 cents in 2012. And he bought, I think, 10 of them. Okay. Think about when it hit $65,000 of Bitcoin, that would be a heck of a return. Okay. And that was 2012. I was newly married and I didn't have, this was not me, but had I even invested $1,000 into Bitcoin and sold it when it got to that $65,000 mark, I would have had $1 billion. $1 billion. I would have made $1 billion off of 1,000, right? The returns were 1,000,000%. Okay. So I'm not saying go crypto crazy, but just be aware that some of these new things that are coming out, if you can get in early enough, they might be very, very beneficial for you in the future. So invest. If you're not investing now, find a plan, find someone to talk to, get investing, because the sooner you start, the better it's going to be long term. Okay, gain knowledge about it. Don't be like, oh, well, I heard that this was a good idea, and then go and do it, and you have no idea is the risk. Learn before you do it, and always don't go into debt to invest, because debt is risky, and the last thing you want to do is now you've taken your money and you've lost your money because the business didn't work out or whatever it happened to be. So that's a little bit on investing. Get started on it. And if you have questions on how to get started on it or how to make room in your budget for investing, give me a call, give me a text, send me an email. That's what I'm here for. Have a wonderful day. I'm Jordan Mitchell, A4H Financial Coaching. Have a good one. Bye.